Getting y'all set up for the live today. Hope you're all having an amazing today. I think it's Wednesday. Pretty sure it's Wednesday. I could be wrong about Wednesday, but I think Wednesday's the thing. So, I sent the client the results of the sample piece that we all did collectively with you guys as well yesterday. And I was given some notes, which is fine, perfectly acceptable and natural. Whenever I do a large commission or a countertop commission, we always do sample boards so that we can ensure that we're on the same page with the client, because it's a whole lot of not fun once you do a really big piece for somebody and after you think it's completed, they're like, I really wish this whatever was different. So to avoid that, you do sample pieces. And so yesterday's live feed was a sample. And so today's going to be their sample number 2. We do 2 samples. Anything beyond that is a fee, $25 per sample. And so the notes were that they thought that the background was too gray. And so they were wanting to incorporate some gray lines in the veining. So that's what we're going to do. So that's how I address sample pieces. I take their criticism, I'll discuss it with them, and then I'll make a new piece based on the notes that I received from the client. Within reason. If she was like, I don't want any beige tones, no creams, just solid white, then we would have to discuss why having solid white anything is not the best idea. Happy everybody. Happy today. Thank you guys for coming in and watching what I'm doing today. I'm going to be doing a sample board. This used to be an ocean, and I'm going to, since this lip isn't that big, I'm pretty sure I can coat it and make it not noticeable. So that's what we're going to attempt to do. So I'm going to use a lot of the colors that we used yesterday, but also a lot of the colors that we didn't use yesterday. We're going to do a translucent white. We're going to be using titanium for both our translucent white and our opaque white. Let me turn a light on. Also have some kind of allergies today. Apologies for the sniffles. We're going to do our shimmer pearl. Nope. Yep. From Color Passion. We're going to do some abalone from Resin Art. We're going to do some beige luster. Not that much. I'm not going to need that much. We're also going to do some bright gold from just resin. I'm not going to use the rich gold shimmer. And then we're going to make a little bit of a gray with just titanium and black. I have a lot of grays, but I want to use colors that I already have going in the piece. Then we're going to need a translucent white. Nope, an opaque white. And then I'm going to have some left over in this cup in case I decide to have more of another color somewhere. Okay. That fell over quickly. Hope you're all having an awesome day. Thank you for coming and seeing what I'm doing today. If you haven't left me a thumbs up, please do so. If you haven't subscribed, also do that. And also, if you're so inclined, will you share our video? Because that'll help our channel grow, and we're really trying to hit 100K by the summer.
40,000 subscribers by the end of the year.
We can do 40,000 subscribers in a year. We haven't been asking people to share and subscribe, so I think that's the issue. Okay, so I'm going to use just a teeny tiny bit of titanium white. This is a paste by Just Resin. And we're going to stick my thumb in the next cup because I'm talented. We're going to make a milky colored white. And the reason I'm going to do this is because anytime you have variance in opacity, you can create a whole bunch of depth. And actually, I think I put a little bit too much in there. So I'm going to put a little bit of this extra leftover resin just in there. I did get a lot of great feedback on the first version of...
Whoa.
Did you get jalapeno in your eye?
Yeah, I mean, it was like, right here.
Jeff's cooking dinner and he almost just got peppers in his eye. So that's fun. Okay, so we're going to use Pearl White Luster. This is just another white, but when you use multiple whites, it'll give your design, your finish, more depth. Also, if you notice your paste getting a little bit solid, just put it in a warm water bath or hit it with some heat and it'll just liquefy right up. Super easy. I get emails about that quite often and it's a super easy fix. It won't be chunky or anything like that. This also has a little bit of a shimmer, a luster to it. And who doesn't love just a little bit of a shimmer, something eye-catching? So we have our translucent white. It's like a milky kind of hue. We have our opaque pearl shimmer. We're gonna do some abalone. This one is by Resin Art. We don't want a whole bunch of it. We don't want a solid color. We just want some translucent sparkle. I went ahead and prepped this board just like I did yesterday, but with less gray. So it's mostly white with just a little bit of gray. And so this abalone is going to help some of that gray color show through. Now we're going to use some beige luster by Color Passion. I'm not using a lot of this color. I just want a little bit of the cream to show through. It helps to mask any eventual yellowing or ambering. Should the client put the piece in the sun or lock it in a garage and it get really hot, that can also cause some ambering. But this really just warms up the piece. It is just on camera a color that I wouldn't normally use. I don't like using flesh tones ever, even though my flesh has never been that color because I'm pale forever. Okay, so the gold that we have decided to use for this piece is Just Resin Bright Gold. It's a beautiful molten gold color. We're not mixing a lot of it up, so I don't need a lot of paste. If you guys don't know, paste is kind of like a powder, except for better. Well, it depends on what you're using it for, but I prefer paste. I don't have to worry about those little flecks of color that never really quite melt into your resin. But I'm warming up to powders. Rhonda has opened my eyes to what they can do. Okay, now for the gray color. I'm going to use some just resin black that I haven't used in forever, so it is a little bit solid. And I'll liquefy it some. Oh, you like the beige in yesterday's sample? Well, thank you. I think it did some fun stuff for the piece, but in my regular everyday arting, the colors I usually pick are more loud. So here's the thing with dark colors, especially when you only need a little bit of it, it goes a long way. So I basically put my stick into the paste and wiped it off on the rim. So it's basically just residual. We're going to start there because, as you can see, a little bit goes a long way. And I'm going to I'm going to just put some of this pearl in there. So now my gray has a little bit of this shimmer. And if we decide to add a little bit more black to it and make it a little bit darker of a gray, we can do that too. So, hi Panda Puffs, we are live. Okay. Oh, we didn't make my opaque white. So I'm going to use the same white I did for the translucent, but use a little bit more paste, but you still don't need that much. A jar of paste should last you quite a while depending on the size of pieces you're doing. I do resin every day and my paste lasts me probably a month, depending on the color. So I don't want to be able to see through the white to my stir stick. Unfortunately, I can, so I'm going to add just a little bit more. Using my handy dandy patent already established stir sticks. All these colors and more can be found on our website. We have over 800 colors on our website. We have more coming. The next shipment to arrive will be Color Obsession tints and pastes. All right, so now I can't see through the resin to the stick. Good to go. Good to go. So like yesterday, I'm going to put some gold down under, and I think I'm going to put some of the gray that we did down under as well. Just to give some depth. Some people think that underpainting is just actual painting under a piece, when in reality you can do it with resin, because resin likes to go where it's already been and doesn't like to move from where it already is. So where it is now, what? It makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, but I would have totally messed that up. Like I was in my head, I was like, wait a minute, where did life go? I went through that whole scenario in my head.
Did you get it wrong in your head by yourself to yourself? Okay, good. And maybe a client won't like these extra lines I'm adding, but we're going to find out together-ish. You're going to need a bigger studio. Sue, I've been needing a bigger studio. One day we'll get it. A very wise business person once told me, when you run your own business, you just have to do it till it becomes uncomfortable by yourself, and keep doing that, even after it's uncomfortable. until it's not possible anymore, and then move on to a bigger space. Mike Quist. Okay, so I'm putting down some of the translucent whites and then some of my abalone in the areas where I want the underpainting to show through, where the grays are. Then I'm going to use some, what I assume is pearl. Yeah, it's pearl. I'm just going to meld these colors out just with my hands. I'm not trying to mix them together. I just want to create a solid base for the next part of this design. So because I used translucent or transparent colors over what I already have down for a base painting, you can see through them. And even though I'm running my hand over the areas, they're not moving. So that's a great pro tip to give your piece depth. I mean, I can move it if I wanted to. I can get extra rough with, hi Bowie, thank you. That's enough. So in areas like that where I needed to feather it out a bit, Bowie, go see. Stop barking from over here.
I'm barking from outside the club.
He is barking from outside the club. So this will be able to be a finish all on its own. But we're going to take it to the next step. Rhonda TM. Bondi is super nice. How long have we been in this space? We've been in this building for 6 years, and we've been in this loft for 3 of that. Yes.
We only did 2 years up there.
Okay, then we've been in here for 4 years. Boom, could be finished all on its own. I may take a picture of this because she may like it just like that. No, she won't, because it won't have the floating gold on it. I'll just take a screen grab. Actually, can one of the mods screenshot this and then send it to me? What's up, Kim? If you guys don't know, Kim Gao is the inventor of Color Passion. So all the CP colors that we use, they came out of her brain. Thank you, Vamp. 4 in this space, right? Bowie. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is just like yesterday, we're going to do a nice dirty pour or exotic pour. So I'm going to put a really heavy heap of the translucent whites. We're going to put some opaque white. You can see the difference in tone, even though it's the same color, but when you put different amounts of the pigment into the resin, it gives you different tone. Super pro tip, different tones give you different amounts of depth and color, and it's awesome. And then we're going to put some of the colors that we mixed up, but just not a whole lot. So I just did a little squiggle of the beige. Put some pearl in there. Let's do a squiggle of the gold. Voila. We'll put some abalone on top of that. And let's do some more pearl. Then we'll do a squiggle of the gray. You don't want to put too much because those squiggles will really add up. And then some more abalone. Put some more of our accent colors, some of the gray, some of the beige. I don't know how these two colors will work together, but we're going to find out together.
Really worried about
I hope you can see the difference in that pearl and that opaque white. Maybe not because I held it way out of camera frame angle area. Okay, now we have all of those colors in there. I'm going to give it just a swirl for interest. Because if you just pour it out how you put it in, okay. So anyways, it's going to come out funky. So now I'm just going to pick where I want my ribbons of color to go. Every time I do this over a base painting that I like, it makes me nervous. Is that weird? That's probably weird, but it's fine. I live with it. All right. So a lot of the deeper tones, the accent colors we did, are hidden in all of the whites that we used, but that's okay. They'll come out. So I'm going to put some veins of just the accent colors that we are using. Oops. Maybe some of the gray that we made up. A lot of times you have to talk your clients out of the artistic decisions that they make, and sometimes that doesn't happen, and you have to give them a sample of what they asked for them to see that you were right the whole time. That's not the case in this instance, but it's often the case. So I put some of the translucent white next to those darker gray lines. So the colors you're adding, don't mix before you pour it. Jerry, I'm trying to understand your question. Are you talking about mixing the colors in the resin, or are you talking about in the exotic or dirty pour cup? So I'm just heating it to pop bubbles. I'm not trying to create any movements. Becoming one color. Yeah, I just put a swirl in my dirty pour or exotic pour cup just to give it just not the puddle look. I want to swirl it around. In my opinion, it makes the pour that you ultimately put on your piece look more fluid. Could just be me, but that's what I like to do. So I'm also going to do some opaque white lines because the opaque white will sink through the other colors and give it even more depth. All right, I'm gonna let those sit for just a moment so that the white that we just added that has no heat on it, because we heated it up before I added those white lines. So the resin that was down that I heated is just a little bit thinner than the cooler temperature white that I just added, the opaque white lines. And so since it's cooler, it's gonna be a heavier resin and it's gonna sink through all of the resin that I had down before. So while I'm waiting on it to do that, I'm gonna take you guys down and show you what we're working with presently. You can see some of that gold sinking. So it's got that dark line next to it, but also some of it floating. That's why it has that spine down the center. Then all this underpainting is showing through, so it looks like there's multiple layers, so much depth. And then the gray that we added that I'm hoping I can make look good. Slash, we'll make it work. So you can see the exotic pour lines. And then I'm going to put in the end the floating gold. So this look of the ribbon candy, this scallop look, is from hesitating as you're pouring it out. So it came really, okay, so it's going to be ATD After Dark. Came out really thick right here. So I slowed down the pour. Because of that, it gave it that overlapping look, that almost snake skinny. You guys remember that ribbon candy that your grandparents probably had? That's what that reminds me of. But when we tilt it around, it's gonna look really nice. Okay, so I think we're good to move on. If you guys are partaking tonight, cheers, tink, sippy sippy, alligator tail. I see that. What's up, Clara? Hope you're feeling well. I'm glad Vamp's on the mend a little bit. Okay. So I'm going to bring out the torch. And the difference for me between the torch and the heat gun is I can control how much resin moves off the piece because I can spot heat it and control that a little bit more. I think I'm going to tilt down this way actually. So I'm going to heat these areas so that those move, and these are a little bit cooler because I haven't heated it in a while. So that won't move quite as much. Then I'm going to tilt it back. When you tilt a piece, you make all of the parts of the piece move in a more cohesive flow. So all those lines that I added after the dirty pour maybe didn't quite flow in a really cohesive pattern, but when you tilt it, everything is moving. So everything's gonna flow in the same direction. So if it looks kind of crazy and busy and not put together, if you tilt it, then you can bring those pieces together. So I think the gray looks okay. I'm going to add a little bit more in, following the pattern that I already established with my dirty pour. I'm not going to put any more beige in because that's an undertone color. I am going to put a couple more opaque white lines through it as well. I also like to vary the thickness of the lines that I add. I think that gives a lot more natural look. Not every line in a natural stone is the same width. I know I'm covering up a lot of my snake skin, but it's okay. All right, I'm gonna let that sink for a quick second, and then we're gonna tilt it again. Hello, all you beautiful mods. If you guys haven't subscribed yet, please do so. Leave me your thumbs. And if you have a second after the video post, please leave a comment, because I like to hear from you guys, and I can't see every comment while I'm live, and it helps my channel with, oh my goodness, engagement, that's the word. Also, all these colors that I use today can be found on my website, artisttilldeath.com. At the end of the video, I'll go over what colors I use, and that's not gonna be very long from right now. So I'm just gonna tilt it a little bit more. Kind of get the flow of everything how I want it. When you tilt and you have different temperatures of resin, some of it was warmer when I added the next layer, the next color, then it's gonna sink. When it does that, it'll create an awesome shadow. So I am gonna add the floating gold, but I wanna show you guys where I'm at before I add it, because I think it's really great. How big is a client's table? It will be a 5 foot by something dinner table, dining room table. What's up, Pennsatucky? Got all of that natural flow, all that great soft movement. Hey, Tudor. It did look like a heartbeat at the bottom of the piece. Boom, boom. So this gold on its own, the Just Resin Bright Gold, it has particles that sink and float, so it's catching the light, but also all of this is from where it originally sank, and then we tilted it this way. So you can see these translucent colors roll over where the gold originally was. But this that's showing, that shiny part, that's the spine that I mentioned earlier in this video. All right, now let's do the floating gold, and class will be dismissed. So I'm gonna just bring you guys a little bit over here so you can see what I'm gonna do with this gold. I need a pipette. There we go. All right. I'm gonna take my pipette, comes with every one of these liquid golds that we send out. And I'm just gonna put some right there. If you guys don't know, this liquid gold is basically spray paint, really good spray paint. That's just not aerosol, but it still has the propellant in it that is what is basically gives it the ability to be put through a spray can, aerosol. One of those words is right. And so it's also in there. I'm hoping you guys can see the shadow that's around this puddle of gold. That's the propellant soaking out. So if I were to just take this and put it into resin, it's gonna grow and bloom because of the propellant. It makes it really liquid and really fluid. But if you let the propellant soak out, then you have a lot more control over the thickness of your lines, and they won't crack when they bloom. The propellant equals less control. So if you just let it soak out on the back of a paper cup, not the inside, because the inside is typically wax lined, so it's not absorbent. So you have to put, you could use just printer paper. This is double-sided butcher paper, so the back side is glossy. I'm using the not glossy side, whatever that, matte, satin, the not shiny side. And so when it looks like there's no propellant left, I do another little test and it looks good. So that is when I'll go through and add some tendrils, some veins of the floating gold. I posted this video today of yesterday's sample piece. Almost everybody in the countertop world that wanted to know about anything of the piece was asking about the gold. So I think everybody should give this gold a shot. Highly recommend letting the propellant soak out so you have more control. But it's your rodeo. If you don't want to do that, then don't. All I can tell you is what works for us, and this is what has been working. Love using our stir sticks to do this because I have more control because it has a crayon. That is what the, oh yeah, my bad. I was still showing y'all the propellant. Just give me a second to show you guys what this looks like in real life. I'll give you guys a close-up. The shine on this floating gold will blow your mind. I shouldn't have put this gold right here, but I did. The reason why I shouldn't have is because you don't really want the most noticeable feature of a piece to be smack dab in the middle. So I'm going to have to do some balancing now. This is a little art theory for you. For my college days. It is Pennsatucky, but I've just jarred it down into smaller containers because most people don't need that big thing that it comes in. Just like the other lines, I like to vary the weight of it, so some thick, some thin. And I think I love it. With this molten gold, this last gold that I used, you really want to... Ow! Have you ever taken a glove off and it didn't come off, but it pops you? That just happened to me. All right, check it out. That gold just glows. Just another way you can add depth and dimension to a piece. Agreed. Don't do too much with the floating gold. It can be too much, but also it just lifts, in my opinion. It elevates the work, in my opinion. So you guys, I hope you like how I addressed the client's comments, concerns, and notes on this product sample for the table that she's interested in. I'm worried about this It's not that natural, but it's also not natural because you can't control nature. I'm worried it just stands out a bit. I'm considering like swiping. B, I need your face. Thanks. Well, she's silly. Should I swipe through this? This bit right here? This bit right here?
We just do that again.
Do what again?
Just do that. Just maybe go boop through that so that, because I like this. This looks good, cohesive.
Yeah, it's just that little heartbeat. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. I have a sale right now.
I can barely see that.
I'm looking at it on camera. I have a sale right now, and the sale is 2023. It goes on till tomorrow. If you want to get these products and any of our other products. Also, I'm teaching a class in Pasadena on oceans and geodes, the 20-something of this, 29th of this month. And I have a couple seats left. So if you want to come and do geodes with me and oceans, I'll teach you in person in Pasadena, and you can get your seat with a discount right now with code 2023, as well as all the other paints and colorants on our website. So I'm going to start the live classes in February, and that's where we teach a class on our channel on YouTube using our stuff. And if you want to pre-order the colorants, I have it all in a little box. You just open and you're ready to go to pour with us on the channel. But if you already have all the products, you can just pour with us on the channel. We typically do it the 24th of every month. If that's still good with everybody, please leave a comment saying that you're good with that date. Hello, Kelly. So yeah, this is the second option for the client. I hope she likes it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you try this look, I would love to see it. Post it in our group, ATD's Poor People. And make sure you tag us. The colors that we used all are available on our website, artistofdeath.com. Our Beige Luster by Color Passion. Just Resin Black. Just Resin Bright Gold. Resin Art Abalone. You can also substitute Diamond Dust or Milky Way / Shooting Star. Just Resin Titanium. Color Passion Pearl Shimmer. Liquid Gold. And that's it. So, I hope you guys like the piece. Give me a thumbs up if you did. Share it if you think it's worth sharing. And we will see you guys in the next video, which will be tomorrow. No idea what I'm going to do yet. Depends on what the client says about this piece. Probably won't do 3 marbles all in one day. You guys did send me a recommendation on another type of stone you want me to attempt. So I may start investigating that tomorrow. But anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and we'll see you guys tomorrow. Till then, be kind to one another because you never know what someone's going through.
And always remember, we do the test.
Well, we do the test, so you don't have to. And then Bowie says hi. Because people can't hear you in there. Hi, Bobo. Are you being precious? Yes, you are. Such a good boy. That's Mama big boy. All right, you guys. Have an awesome night, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.